What happens when a Texas oil heir decides that crime solving sounds more interesting than running his own business? Out of wealth, freedom, and early 80s television excess, a private investigator was born. Think of it as if Magnum P.I had a huge business to run that kept on skipping the board meetings because chasing criminals was much more fun. So how did this idea turn into a series that lasted 3 seasons? Let's find out. This is the story of Matt Houston. The series was created by Lawrence Gordon and produced by Aaron Spelling Productions. ABC's strategy at the time was to compete in the very crowded 1980s action drama genre, drawing inspiration from hits like CBS's Magnum P.I. So Gordon's project fit that thinking perfectly. So ABC greenlit the project and officially announced the series as part of its full lineup in May 1982. The development began with the 2-hour pilot titled X-22 that was directed by Richard Lang. It established the character, the tone, and the structure the series would follow. Instead of another detective scraping by, the central character was designed as someone who already had everything. Matt Houston was introduced as a wealthy Texas oil heir who relocated to Los Angeles to manage his own business. He pursued private investigation as a personal hobby, taking on cases by choice rather than necessity. The casting of the series began with the lead. Lee Horsley was cast as Matt Houston after his role in Nero Wolfe. The show was developed as a starring vehicle for him, and the character was shaped around his screen presence. His portrayal focused on Houston's independent streak and personal charm. Once the lead was set, the supporting roles followed. Pamela Hensley was cast as C.J. Parsons, Houston's sharp-witted lawyer who provided all sorts of support and engaging in banter to complement his unorthodox methods. She worked the penthouse computer and regularly flew the company helicopter, which says a lot about how flexible the job descriptions were at Matt Houston's company. John Aprea played Lieutenant Vince Novelli, who is introduced as Houston's best friend and police contact. George Weiner was cast as Murray Chase. He played Houston's business manager and handled the company's side of Houston's life. Lincoln Kilpatrick joined in the 2nd season as Mike Hoyt, the LAPD lieutenant who functioned as Houston's point of contact with law enforcement after John Aprea's exit. In addition to the regular cast, the show made frequent use of recognizable guest stars. The series featured appearances from Barbara Carrera, Heather Locklear, Lou Ferrigno, Don Johnson, and many more. The music was an important part of the show's identity from the start. The main theme for the series was composed by Dominic Frontier and became one of the most recognizable elements of the series. Beyond the theme, episode scoring was handled by Nelson Riddle. His music supported the episodes as they moved between investigation scenes and action moments, staying in line with the show's overall style. Together, Frontier's theme and Riddle's episodic music gave the series a consistent sound across its run. When Matt Houston premiered on ABC in 1982, critical and viewer reaction was mixed. Some critics dismissed the series as lightweight television, pointing to its reliance on style and a familiar detective formula rather than depth. Reviews often described it as pleasant and watchable, but it was not treated as a serious drama. Critics and viewers often compared it to Aaron Spelling's earlier hit, Hart, for its stylish blend of wealth and mystery. But at the same time, there was an understanding of what the show was offering. Several reviews acknowledged that it was designed as easy viewing and judged it on those terms rather than against more grounded or dramatic crime series. Audience response was stronger than the critical reaction. The series performed well enough in the ratings to justify a renewal. It was never a top-ranked show, but it held a stable position within ABC's schedule during its early run. Internationally, the series was distributed outside the United States after its American debut. Here in the UK, it premiered on BBC One and it was also broadcast in Australia. In continental Europe, Matt Houston reached additional markets and premiered in France and Germany. Contemporary coverage reflects the same balance. The Washington Post described the character as an oil-rich tycoon who solved crimes largely for amusement. TV Guide positioned the series as a light episodic entertainment, reinforcing its reputation as an easy viewing rather than a serious drama. From the beginning, the series positioned Los Angeles as an environment of access rather than limitation. Houston operated out of a luxury penthouse residence and used resources made possible by his wealth. These included a personal helicopter for transportation and a computerized penthouse system named Baby. These elements were built directly into the structure of the show and shaped how investigations unfolded on screen. Early episodes focused on self-contained investigations involving corporate crime, high society figures, with Houston moving freely between business obligations and investigative work. Across the first season, the business remained present as part of Houston's background, but most episodes centered on individual cases rather than long-running storylines. The series later expanded the premise by placing greater focus on Houston's personal history. Several episodes shifted attention back to Texas, where investigations intersected with family matters and previous undisclosed aspects of his background, including revelations about his adoption. These episodes connected Houston's investigative work more directly to his personal life without altering the episodic structure of the series. Romantic storylines became more prominent during the second season, with relationships increasingly tied to the cases themselves. While investigations remained largely standalone, certain threats and consequences carried forward across episodes more often than the first season. By the third season, the series continued to build larger action-driven stories while maintaining its core structure. Episodes featured more international settings, expanded two-part stories, and higher stakes conflicts. When the series first aired back in September '82, it had a solid start, but as we said earlier, it was never a breakout hit. So for its second season, ABC shifted the show to Fridays at 10 p.m. As the seasons went on, viewership declined, and the show struggled to maintain momentum in a competitive television environment. While efforts were made to adjust the series, including cast additions, these changes were not enough to reverse the trend. By the end of its third season, ABC decided not to renew the series due to declining ratings and being dominated by CBS's Falcon Crest. So Matt Houston aired its final episode on March 29, 1985, bringing the series to a close after 3 seasons. After its original network run, Matt Houston entered limited syndication and appeared on cable and nostalgia networks. The first home media release came decades later when Season 1 was issued on DVD. The remaining seasons followed later, completing the series on DVD and allowing viewers to own the full 3-season run. All of the later releases focused on preserving the episodes themselves rather than adding any bonus material, so there's no commentaries or behind-the-scene features included. Also, it's never been released on Blu-ray. As a result, the DVDs remain the only physical format that contains the show in its entirety. For fans who want to add the series to their collection, I've added a link in the description below, and there should be a card popping up on screen to help you check it out. The series remains an example of the early 80s private investigator genre as it existed on network television at the time. The series reflected a period when crime dramas leaned toward glamour, action, and light mystery rather than realism. For Lee Horsley, the series moved him from supporting work into a leading role on network television and directly preceded his later starring role in Paradise. While Matt Houston was not followed by a long run of similar series for Horsley, it established him as a recognizable presence within 80s television. Today, Matt Houston is most often discussed as a representative product of its time, reflecting the tone, pacing, and priorities of network television during the 80s. So how did one man doing the job entirely on his own terms turn into a series that lasted 3 seasons? The answer lies in consistency. The concept remained clear, the format stayed intact, and the series delivered a stable mix of action and escapist crime storytelling that fit its network environment. But we're not done yet. next time we jump into the 90s with another cult classic. Until then, why don't you check out our previous video on Hart to Hart.
Jonathan Hart, a self-made millionaire.
Thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.